It's 103.7, 103.9 FM in Accra, in Kumasi, on Love 99.5 and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Shine FM Akachi, Radio Max Takrade and Ridge in Tamale. Get radio, TV and online content on the myjoyonline.com interactive app for Android and iOS devices. Coming up, former Environment Minister Professor Frimpong Boateng demands prosecution of individuals behind mining company represented by the president's cousin, Gabi Asare Okyere-Darko. Meanwhile, the minority in parliament is set to push for a parliamentary probe.
Nations coming out calls for a national probe. Obviously, parliament will take the lead, and it is our position to call for a probe into this matter.
We have details as they describe President Akufo-Addo's Galamsey fight as a charade in business.
Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta hints of government's plan to cut and remove some taxes once the economy stabilizes. Details on the Joy Business Report.
And in the build-up to the NDC National Delegates Congress, we'll tell you why NDC presidential aspirant Kojo Bonsu thinks delegates of the NDC will commit an unforgivable sin if he is not elected to lead the party.
If I don't serve Ghanaians and I die, Ghana will miss a lot. Everything I touch is gold. So why don't I touch Ghana for Ghana to see gold?
Plus, why he is firm in his belief that favourite for the race, John Mahama, is dented, unattractive and soiled.
The swing voters will tell you, Mundi Fufro-Baya, MPP has really soiled him. He doesn't stand a better chance. Let's bring somebody new, somebody fresh.
I am Maame Esi Thompson. Thanks for choosing us. In our first story, former Environment Minister Professor Frimpong Boateng is this morning demanding the prosecution of individuals behind the mining company represented by the president's cousin, Gabi Asare Okyere-Darko. Mr. Okyere-Darko served as lawyer for C&G Alaska, which later became Heritage Imperial Mining Company Limited. In an explosive report, Professor Frimpong Boateng, who was the chairman of the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, accused the company of active involvement in illegal mining and named Mr. Okyere-Darko as the person who used his influence to protect the company. Here's a news desk report.
Mr. Okyere-Darko admits calling Professor Frimpong Boateng after the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining Task Force stopped C&G Alaska and Heritage Imperial Mining Company Limited from allegedly destroying the environment under the guise of prospecting for gold.
Very unprofessional to drop a name on a matter that was purely about a lawyer asking questions about his client.
But in a rebuttal, Professor Frimpong Boateng made further disclosures. He claimed that through the intervention of the president's cousin, some Chinese who were arrested were released by the task force. He also claimed that the many soldiers who were providing security service to the two companies represented by Mr. Okyere-Darko attacked the Interministerial Committee's task force team and damaged the vehicle carrying journalists who were covering the operations. Joy News' Erastus Asare-Donko witnessed the attack and captured it all on video.
The whole place was crawling with over 30 angry armed military men. The Chinese were released. Our news team was prevented from filming anything from this time onwards as they overpowered the task force and took over.
In his latest rebuttal to Gabi Asare Okyere-Darko, Professor Frimpong Boateng calls for the prosecution of the companies involved.
Meanwhile, the minority in parliament is set to push for a parliamentary probe into the allegations by Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng. Dr. Cassiel Atufosin's minority leader.
That is the position of the minority. But we will go beyond raising what is happening on the floor of parliament. Our position is that the revelations coming out calls for a national probe. Obviously, parliament will take the lead, and it is our position to call for a probe into this matter.
Dr. Cassiel Atofosin is minority leader. Now, the Ghana Individual Bondholders Forum say attacks on their leader, Senyor Hossi, is unfair, inaccurate, and dishonest. The Individual Bondholders Association of Ghana, led by Martin Pegbu, have accused Senyor Hossi of being an appendage of government. But in a statement, individual bondholders are fighting back and defending their lead convener. My colleague Joseph Akable is in the studio with details. First, how do they respond to the accusations of the bondholders that Senyor Hossi is now an appendage of the Finance Ministry?
The IBF says it considers the statements from the letter attacking the personality of Senyor Hossi unfortunate, inaccurate, and unfair and dishonest. The ideas and proposals tabled by Mr. Hossi at the meetings with the Ministry of Finance have been concepts prior discussed and approved by the relevant committees of the IBF. The proposals were also prior discussed with the leadership of the IBHAG. We find the false representatives of IBHAG an affront to the collective efforts to ensure that the government of Ghana honors its commitment to individual bondholders whose coupon and principal payments have not been honored since they became due.
And Joseph, how do they react to the news that Individual Bondholders Association is withdrawing from the Finance Ministry's Technical Committee?
It says it has no objection to they recusing themselves from the Technical Committee. The primary objective is to continue with the engagements with the Ministry of Finance to secure full and final closure on the issue of coupon and maturity payments for individual bondholders and collective investment scheme. It adds that we expect that the Technical Committee will submit its report by Wednesday, 26th April, after which we will hold the government on account on all agreed deliverables.
Thank you, Joseph. Let's do some politics now. A presidential aspirant of the opposition NDC, Kojo Bonsu, says the delegates of the party will commit an unforgivable sin if he is not elected to lead the NDC in the 2024 presidential election. The former mayor of Kumasi will face off with former President John Mahama and former Finance Minister Dr. Kwabena Duffuor in the May 13 Congress of the party. Ahead of the polls, your election headquarters looks at the chances of Kojo Bonsu. Elton Brobe has more.
Kojo Bonsu wings is spread across the political, business and sporting arena. The founder and former publisher of the Ago magazine first nursed the ambition for the highest office of the land in 2018 when he declared his intention to contest as the party's president flag bearership role, but he would drop out ahead of the primaries. This time there is no backing down, and here is his reason.
God has given me good vision. I'm a visionary person. If you look at what I did at the National Sports Authority, what I did at Goa, what I did with Adidas, and what I've done with KMA as well. If I don't serve Ghanaians and I die, Ghana will miss a lot, because I believe I have a lot. If you check my track record, everything I touch is gold. So why don't I touch Ghana for Ghana to see gold?
The bookmakers tipped former President John Mahama to win the race. But Kojo Bonsu says the image of the former president is dented, corrupted, unattractive, and soiled. For him, the former president is a commodity that will be difficult to sell to floating voters.
They've said a lot of things. They've put corruption tag on him. They have a whole lot of things, like Omar Seno PBB. They've said a whole lot of things against him. Like you can't even take it off. And that is where I feel very sad. The NPP has really soiled him. He doesn't stand a better chance.
Elton John Brobe with that report. Now, government is set to boost creative writing among the youth to stimulate socio-economic transformation through the construction of domestic book industry. Speaking at the official launch of Accra World Book Capital 2023, President Akufo-Addo indicated that reading will equip youth with knowledge and skills needed to succeed in today's rapidly changing job market.
It seeks to provide institutional support for lifelong learning, as well as reinforce school and community infrastructure. Additionally, government, with support from the private sector, will also construct a reading and creative writing facility to boost the culture of reading and creative writing to stimulate socioeconomic transformation.
And the 12 individuals who have successfully made it into the Joy Prime Cues and Lyrics show were outdoored over the weekend. Divided into 3 groups, viewers were given a sense of what to expect in the next few weeks.
Our first group, Lovette, TM Music, Tajon, and Udine.
I don't want you to leave, really hold my hand. Won't you stay with me? 'Cause you're all I need. I chose to be happy. You and I, we're like diamonds in the skies. You shouldn't.
I know it's gonna get better. I like the energy. I like the fact that you all work together.
Mighty, Kobna Mufasa, Lemuel, and Superstar TZ.
This distance is taking a hold of me for sure. Oh baby, come closer. Closer.
Put your hand on my shoulder.
Closer.
Baby girl, say come over.
Closer.
Energy Squad. Don't concentrate too much on your performance, yeah? Focus on your timing and keys.
As Trisha Williams, Newborn, and as also Cobichon and Rich Glad. Let's see if they indeed are going to impress the judges.
I got my mind made up, and I won't stand back.
And do make a date with them. Always tune in to Joy Prime for cues and lyrics show. And that's it for the bulletin. Former Environment Minister Professor Frimpong Boateng demands prosecution of individuals behind mining company represented by the president's cousin, Gabi Asari Ochre Dako. I am Maame Esi Thompson. There's more on the Super Morning Show.
You know, Papa Shida.